So then, did Studio Bones make any changes to My Hero Academia Season 6 Episode 1 to 6? Yo, what's good, it's your boy Reviews, and I finally bought the Blu-ray for My Hero Academia Season 6 Part 1. I'll be doing the comparison of episodes 1 to 6, so let's see if Studio Bones made any changes. In episode 1, during the initial intro where we see some flashbacks of Deku and Eri versus Overhaul, some of the dimming has been removed. Next up, for some odd reason, they removed the mid-title card scenes of the pro heroes who are focused on in the episodes, with the generic My Hero Academia blue and red logos. And finally, whenever they showed a pro hero who you haven't seen in quite some time, they usually have a small title card naming who this character is and their quirks, but the Blu-ray decided to remove all of that, and those are all the major changes in episode 1. Everything else in the episode is more or less the same. Let's go to episode 2. Just like with episode 1, all of the pro hero title cards have all been removed in each and every scene in the episode, and as well as all the title cards being removed from all the pro heroes and UA students, the main title card of Miriko and Denki has been replaced by the red and blue title card of the My Hero Academia logo. Next up, all of the dimming has been removed of Endeavor, lighting up some of the Normus. Next up, the scene of Denki thinking of the most important person in his life, which is Jiro. Denki, my boy, what a man you are. All of the dimming has been removed in this scene of the camera just panning back from Denki to Jiro. There's a lot of whites in this scene, so I understand why the dimming was added in. Next up, the scene of one of the main vice commanders of the Paranormal Liberation Front, who uses his quirk Amplivolt, has pretty much all of the dimming removed, which makes perfect sense. I mean, my gosh, the scene was so sporadic. Now let's hop onto episode 3. First up, all of the main hero title cards and the UA students title cards have all been removed in pretty much the majority of the scenes where you see a pro hero or student. Next up, the halfway mid-title card of Hawks and Twice has been removed and replaced with the blue and red title card of the logo. But apart from those changes, the only two major changes that we see in this episode is the dimming being removed in the scene of the Vice Commander using his quirk, and finally Dabi's blue flames having all the dimming removed as he confronts Twice, and those are all the changes in episode 3. For episode 4, just like the previous episodes, all of the pro hero title cards have all been removed whenever you see them on screen, and Miriko and Eraserhead's title cards in the midway point in the episode are both removed in the Blu-ray. But as well as all that, we do have a few changes, mainly regarding the dimming. The dimming is removed on Dabi's flames as he approaches Hawks. This beautifully animated sequence of Miriko fighting the high ends has the dimming removed. The scene of Present Mike going absolutely insane, destroying the entire laboratory, has all of the dimming removed as well. Next up, this wicked sequence of this female high-end Normu just hopping and jumping around the laboratory has all the dimming removed. And finally, the scene of Miriko destroying Shigaragi's capsule has the dimming removed, as well as some of the white frames having a tad more brightness compared to the television version. Now it's time for episode 5. Anytime you see a pro hero or student who has a title card in the episode, it's been removed in the Blu-ray, as well as the mid-title cards also being replaced with the red and blue logo of My Hero Academia. The scene of Endeavor tackling some of those high-end Normus had quite a bit of dimming in the television version, but with it being removed in the Blu-ray, it really does make a difference because wow, look at some of the colors. As well as this, you also have more dimming being removed when Eraserhead is running, trying to catch up with the other pro heroes. The dimming in this sequence was more apparent with some of those purple capsules in the background, which made sense as the camera was panning really fast. You don't want to give your audience a headache watching that scene. And finally, the sequences of the UA students such as Deku, Ochako, Todoroki and the others have all the dimming removed as they are saving some of the civilians. Again, it really does make a difference because some of these still frames of Deku look slick with the dimming removed. And finally, we move to episode 6. As soon as the chorus kicks in the intro, I did notice that some of the sequences of Bakugo blasting away has a lot of ghosting and dimming in the television version, but it's such a blink and you'll miss it moment that was it even really necessary to add it in? Also, as well as having some of the pro hero title cards being removed in the Blu-ray, as well as the halfway point title cards of Shigaraki and Bakugo being deleted in the Blu-ray. Most of the dimming comes from the new number one hero versus the new symbol of fear action sequences. In just a lot of these scenes, more or less the majority of them, there's just a lot of sparks and really bright flashes whenever Endeavor is getting charged up and trying to fight Shigaraki. Honestly, these scenes made the most sense when it came to the dimming in the television version. I had to watch some of these episodes super early in the morning, so seeing some of those flashes, even with the dimming on, gave me a bit of a headache, so I can't even imagine those picking up the Blu-ray for the first time and seeing those scenes. I do recommend people to watch these scenes in a lit room instead of a dark room, as they may sting your eyes. But apart from those Endeavor and Shigaraki sequences, every other scene in the episode, as well as the first 6 episodes of season 6, pretty much have no difference at all. With it being a Blu-ray, there is far less compression in the scenes, as well as clearer audio, so if you have one of those home cinema, then this Blu-ray would be a phenomenal treat for you. This version of the Blu-ray set is the Western version, aka the US/UK version, as the Japanese version was actually released 6 months prior to this video. I am quite pleased that the English version is affordable for the general public compared to the insane prices of the original Japanese version of the Blu-rays. A nice simple design of Deku, Endeavor, Hawks, and a Eraserhead on the front cover of the Blu-ray set. I'm actually quite surprised this anime is rated 15 in the UK, which is the equivalent of the R rating for the US version. I feel like this anime is more of a PG-13 than a rated R anime. I suppose the UK age rating experts felt a little bit sensitive when it came to some of those intense scenes. I'll do the next episodes in a separate video, as I'm sure there's going to be quite a few alterations, mainly dimming and ghosting. I am aware that this season was quite a bit controversial, as many fans wanted the blue sky to be altered or changed, as well as some of the scenes and character designs not looking quite as crisp or as detailed as some fans wanted them to look. Personally, I didn't really have any issues with some of the designs, as it looked like Studio Bones were really focusing on some of those cool, brilliant action sequences which looked really phenomenal. So all the episodes that didn't look quite as clean or as solid didn't really bother me. But to the people that did want some of those scenes to be altered, they may be a little bit disappointed with this Blu-ray. But thankfully that is a small minority, as the majority of My Hero Academia fans are pretty much fine with the quality that Studio Bones puts out when it comes to My Hero Academia the anime series. And I am quite aware that the second half of this season was pretty solid when it came to the overall presentation and artwork, but I am curious to see if they would actually change some of the more controversial manga to anime iconic scenes that some people online didn't feel like was up to par with what Mr. Horikoshi was able to cook for the manga version. But tell me in the comments down below, what do you guys think of these changes? Do you think the changes are necessary, or do you think they were a bit pointless in the end? Tell me, like this video, subscribe for more My Hero Academia videos, mainly the TV versus Blu-ray comparisons, as well as other videos and updates. Stay tuned for the JJK Season 2 Episode 7 and beyond Blu-rays. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy did a review signing out.